Just got done knocking in a deer bedding cut. Catching my breath here. See, I got a lot of trees down. I'm working in big woods country today, so this cut's, it looks pretty similar to a lot of my cuts, but there's other considerations I have in mind when I'm in big woods country, especially when I'm in wolf country, so I'll talk about that today. But yeah, got a nice cut knocked in here, and gonna put another one in not too far from this cut tomorrow, so let me show you what this one looks like. Alright, so this is right where I was sitting. You can see a pretty good size room right here. Thick cover all around it. So I like having these bigger open spots in wolf country. It seems like when you make the bedding cuts a little too tight and dense that the deer don't use it as much, so I leave plenty of big open rooms like this, but I still do have my thicker spots where they can kind of watch out over the open. So I take you into this edge. You can see I was cutting mostly maple today. I did try to hinge as much as I could. My maple hinge rate is low, as I've shared in the past, but it's the summer, so I can get them to hinge a little bit easier in the summer than I do the winter. And I did get decent hinges on quite a few of them today. So we'll see, maybe a few will live, but even if they don't live, the cover is propped up and I could tip my smaller trees onto my big main tree and make a lot of these little canopy beds. I got a bunch of them kind of tucked up through here. Now the first thing I actually did with this cut is I went all the way around the edges. I made it really, really thick on that side. It's not quite as thick on this side. But if I can, I like to fan my edges out. And then I do my detail work in the middle towards the end of the day. But I got to get started. That's one of the hardest things about doing these cuts is just trying to find a way to get your first few trees down. So I got my edges. I had good landing zones around the edges. So I started there, fanned it out, and then kind of started to do the detail work in the middle. So here's a main exit. It's cutting up through here. It's going to actually work its way that way and then weave its way back up into the cut. And I got beds tucked up in here. Love these little canopy beds when I can make them. There's a beautiful one. A hinge tree right there. Bed tucked up right there. And a nice escape. Slipping out. Actually tucked another few beds kind of up in here. Got a bed tucked up right there. I can slip out the back. And we're back in that main, or that first kind of open room. I got about 3 different escapes heading out of this room. There's a bed right there. That tree hinged nicely. Another little bedroom down in here. Escape cutting out that way. Here's kind of one of the main 2 open runs. I like to leave at least one run open with no canopied trees overhead in case they settle. I don't want to cut off a main trail through the bedding cut. Yeah, come up in this. We'll come up in an open space. This one's pretty open too. Trail cutting out that way. Oh, it's starting to rain on me a little bit. There was a nice bedroom back in here. I had all kinds of sweet little bedrooms in this one. Decent hinge there. Escape out that way. Got a bed tucked up in there. Escape through there. If I can make the canopied beds, I will, because they certainly favor them. They like bedding along the side structure too. But they do like the canopies. Big hinge tree with a potential bed. Here's I guess I got 2 big main bedrooms, but I think I said 3, but I meant 2. This one's really open. You can see lots of space for them to move around. Lots of sunlight. There's my rain clouds. I got trails weaving all the way through this. Got one cutting up over there. One cutting up over there, cutting past the deer stand location. And a nice open space up in here with kind of bedrooms all around. No bed under any of these hinge trees right there. Escape cutting out that way. I was gonna cut that tree. I'll do that before I leave. Chainsaw scattered all over in here. And my main run, that's gonna link up to my other bedding cut. Cuts out through here. Again, ease of movement. I want them to be able to move around in here easy, but have tons of little beds or bedding locales throughout here. So you got a escape cutting out that way, potential bed right there, and then my main escape that'll link up to the other cut that I'm going to do tomorrow up that direction. It's all about stacking the bedding. We got logging regen over there. Gonna have bedding cut here, bedding cut over there. You start making this line of movement, it creates a very predictable rut hunting scenario. Alright, here's my trail. Gonna work its way out to the deer stand. So they are just rifle hunters. We don't need them right on top of us, but this is going to set up a 20-yard shot. That tree right there is going to have a stand in it. And to really incentivize the deer to be here, there's going to be a earth-blind water hole. You got the big ones. I don't know how many gallons they are, but they're big. It's going to be sitting right here. He'll be up in the tree right over there. Bucks will definitely hit water before they hit food during the rut. They're running hard during that time. If we got all this bedding cover right here, we know where the bucks are going to want to be. Checking that out. So we get the stand right on the edge of it. It's going to be a morning hunt. You slip in nice and early and you wait for the deer to come off the food. Get back into the bedding. My northwest wind is going to be blowing that way outside of the cut. So I'm thinking rifle hunting in Minnesota. Normally it's either northwest or southeast. So here we're going to bank on it being northwest. Northwest is our cold front. That's when we want to be in the deer stand. That's when our bucks are really going to be cruising. But yeah, that was the project for today. Pretty easy to get around in here, which was the goal. I got one more little bedroom here to show you. Kind of sets up right in front of the deer stand. And I don't cut every single tree. I'll leave a few. I like it when I can get my big trees down first, and if they can take some of these smaller ones where I don't have to hinge them, create a nice living canopy, like a beautiful bedroom right there. Works out very well. Alright, that is it for this one. Back at it tomorrow. Y'all take care. God bless.